Okay, close your eyes for a moment. Just picture this. A scene of staggering power, really breathtaking precision,
Hmm.
and a declaration so grand it just echoes across continents. You've got thousands of troops perfectly synchronized, goose-stepping with this almost unsettling unity across Tiananmen Square.
Right.
Then imagine these columns of the world's most advanced weaponry. We're talking tanks that practically breathe fire, missiles so fast they seem to redefine physics, just rumbling past.
Quite the image.
It really is. And this wasn't some movie set. This was China's recent massive military parade right there in Tiananmen Square.
A very real display.
So here in the deep dive, we're not just going to tell you what happened. We're digging into a whole stack of articles, reports, analyses, all to understand what this incredible spectacle really means.
For you and for the world.
Exactly. What does it mean for you, for global power dynamics for the future? Our mission today is to pull out the most important nuggets, connect those often hidden dots, and help you grasp the surprising facts behind this huge power play.
Think of it as a shortcut to getting truly well informed on this.
Exactly.
And you're right, this wasn't just about parading hardware. It was a very carefully choreographed strategic statement, packed with layers of intent messaging. We'll be looking way beyond the visuals to decode what Beijing was actually saying to its own people, its allies, and maybe most importantly, its adversaries.
And who was there, right?
And who wasn't, just as telling sometimes.
Definitely. All right, let's dive into the spectacle itself. Our sources paint this picture of just mind-boggling scale. A full 70-minute display, this was on a Wednesday, marking the 80th anniversary of Japan's surrender in World War II.
Significant date.
Very. Picture it. Thousands of troops, their movements just incredibly precise, almost like a single organism marching across the square.
That goose-step precision is famous.
It is, and it wasn't just marching, it felt like this rhythmic pulse of national will. And then came what felt like an endless river of tanks, missile carriers, advanced drones.
Overwhelming is probably the right word.
I think so. A truly overwhelming statement. And right at the heart of it, President Xi Jinping delivers this central declaration. China's great rejuvenation is unstoppable.
Unstoppable.
Yeah. Now, that's a powerful word, unstoppable. What makes that phrase so potent, especially right then, in that context?
Well, unstoppable, it's really more than just a bold claim. It resonates deeply within China's political language, Taps into centuries of national aspiration, the whole Chinese dream narrative.
Oh, right.
For people inside China, it reinforces confidence. It promises to fix historical grievances, that century of humiliation they often talk about.
Yeah.
It basically says China's path forward is inevitable, like destiny.
And internationally, to Taiwan, the West.
Yeah. To them, it's an unmistakable signal. Beijing sees its ambitions, especially what it calls reunification with Taiwan, as completely non-negotiable.
So deal with it, essentially.
Pretty much. It puts the pressure on others to react to China's momentum, rather than expecting China to change course.
Yeah.
Xi used that moment perfectly to underscore Beijing's goals.
And he mentioned the PLA specifically.
He did. Stated very clearly that the People's Liberation Army, the PLA, would resolutely safeguard national sovereignty, unity, and territorial integrity.
Okay.
So connecting great rejuvenation directly to Taiwan, well, it gives it a very specific, very pertinent meaning, like a destiny that can't be stopped.
And this isn't just talk, is it? Our sources point to a critical timeline here. She keeps mentioning 2027.
Yes, the 100th anniversary of the PLA.
Right. He set that as a deadline for major military modernization. What's the deal with that year, and how are U.S. officials reading this aggressive timeline?
That 2027 date is, highly significant. It's a centenary, a powerful symbol for the PLA. It's definitely an internal target, making sure their military is truly world-class by then.
But the U.S. interpretation?
Well, that's where it gets concerning for some. U.S. officials, like former Indo-Pacific Commander Admiral Phil Davidson, they've issued these stark warnings. They suggest 2027 could line up with Beijing getting ready for, well, an invasion of Taiwan.
Wow. So the big question is readiness or action?
Exactly. Is 2027 just a deadline for being ready to act if needed? Or is it something more ominous, a deadline for actual action?
A subtle difference with huge implications.
Immense geopolitical weight. It fuels a lot of concern, a lot of strategic planning in Washington, in Taipei. It's definitely a period of, let's say, heightened vigilance.
Okay. So if unstoppable is the intent and 2027 is this symbolic deadline, how does Beijing plan to back that up? This is where it gets really interesting because the sources are clear. This parade was a massive display of military muscle. They wanted to show they have the tools. What did they actually reveal?
Oh, they left very little to the imagination. China very explicitly demonstrated its full nuclear triad.
The triad. So land, sea, and air nuclear capability.
Correct. The ability to launch nuclear weapons from all three domains. This wasn't just showing off. It's fundamental to modern deterrence.
Right, guarantees a retaliatory strike.
Exactly. Ensures a second strike capability, global reach. It signals a mature, robust nuclear force.
So what were the specific showstoppers, the weapons that really made headlines?
Several key systems stood out, according to our sources. Probably the most prominent was the DF-41 intercontinental ballistic missile.
The ICBM.
Yes, a real behemoth. It apparently has a staggering range, something like 12,400 miles, which puts the U.S. mainland squarely within range.
That definitely sends a message.
It certainly underscores their ability to hold any adversary at risk anywhere. Then there was what looked like a new hypersonic missile, the DF-61.
Hypersonic, the one designed to beat defenses?
That's believed to be its purpose, yeah. Carried on a big WS-2400 truck. Hypersonic weapons are incredibly difficult to intercept because of their speed and maneuverability. They're designed to outpace existing U.S. missile defense systems.
Okay, what else on the nuclear front?
They rounded out the picture with submarine-launched ballistic missiles from their growing fleet of advanced subs and long-range bombers, completing that image of a comprehensive, formidable nuclear deterrent.
That is undeniably a strong statement, but I'm curious. Our sources also mentioned China's more, let's say, futuristic capabilities. Was that reflected too, beyond the sort of traditional heavy hitters?
Oh, absolutely. It certainly was. What was striking was how much prominence they gave to technologies signaling ambitions way beyond conventional warfare, pushing boundaries into, well, what some call next-gen conflict.
Like, what specifically?
The parade featured several stealth drones, notably the GJ-11 Sharp Sword UCAV, that's an unmanned combat aerial vehicle, and other advanced Loyal Wingman drones.
Loyal Wingman drones, what are those exactly?
They're designed to fly alongside manned fighter jets. They can extend the jet's reach, act as decoys, carry out dangerous missions, basically proving the effectiveness and survivability of the manned aircraft. They're not just remote-controlled toys.
Okay, that's pretty cutting edge. What else?
They also showed off what appear to be AI-enhanced tanks.
AI tanks.
Yeah, suggesting advances not just in armor or firepower, but in things like battlefield intelligence, targeting maybe even some autonomous decision-making for complex situations. Other hypersonic weapons were there, underwater drones too, hinting at serious investment in a multi-domain, technologically superior military.
And you mentioned Taiwan earlier.
Crucially, yes. They paraded amphibious assault vehicles, which is a very direct, not subtle at all, link to potential preparations for a Taiwan contingency.
Right. Obvious connection there.
And importantly, Beijing also used this chance to highlight its growing cyber and space capabilities, signaling ambition to dominate well beyond traditional battlefields.
So it wasn't just about now, but the future.
Exactly. It wasn't just showing what they have, but projecting what they will have, what kind of future conflicts they're preparing for. It felt like a carefully curated preview of their defense strategy.
Okay, so moving beyond the hardware, the goose-stepping, the declarations, the guest list itself was also a huge statement, wasn't it? Sources suggest it signaled a very clear geopolitical alignment.
Absolutely. I mean, the seating arrangement alone, that photo spoke volume.
Oh, it was next to Xi.
Picture President Xi watching it all, flanked by two other very prominent and, let's be frank, controversial global figures, Russia's Vladimir Putin and North Korea's Kim Jong-un.
Putin and Kim Jong-un, right there.
Yeah. Our sources pretty much universally called this a not-so-subtle signal of solidarity among America's adversaries, a visual declaration of a deepening partnership, maybe even a new axis forming.
And it wasn't just symbolic, right? They actually met.
Precisely.
Yeah.
After the parade, Putin and Kim met behind closed doors for a significant 2 hours.
2 hours. What came out of that?
According to Chinese state media, Putin explicitly thanked Kim for supporting Russia's war in Ukraine.
Okay, so very direct support acknowledged.
Yeah, that interaction really solidified the perceived alignment. It signals active coordination, mutual support between these nations. That has pretty profound implications for global security.
Yeah.
These look like working relationships, not just symbolic ones.
So, who else was there? Sources mentioned about 24 world leaders, including Iran's president.
Yes, Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian was there. But overall, Western allies were conspicuously absent.
So the Europeans didn't exactly rush for front-row seats.
No, their presence was strikingly sparse. Only two heads of state from Europe actually attended, Serbian President Vučić and Slovak Prime Minister Fico.
Just two. Wow.
Yeah, the significant absence of other Western leaders really underscored the diplomatic divisions surrounding this whole event.
Why do you think that is, the division?
Well, many European nations are kind of walking this delicate tightrope, right? Balancing major economic ties with China against human rights concerns, democratic values, and increasingly aligning with U.S. foreign policy and security views.
So their absence was a statement in itself.
Definitely. Not just a no-show, but a quiet yet firm diplomatic statement, highlighting that growing ideological gap between Beijing and many Western capitals.
Now, this massive display, it obviously didn't go unnoticed elsewhere. Our sources picked up on a particularly strong reaction from a former U.S. president.
Indeed, a very candid, very direct reaction came from former President Donald Trump. He used his platform, Truth Social, for a pointed message.
What did he say?
He addressed Xi directly, saying, "Please give my warmest regards to Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un as you conspire against the United States of America."
Wow. Direct.
Very. And it's important we stress we're just reporting the content from the source material here, but it captures that immediate, strong, highly personalized political reaction this parade sparked. It really encapsulates that perception of a growing anti-U.S. alliance.
And Taiwan. The country arguably most directly affected by all this. How did they react to this massive show of force practically on their doorstep?
Their president, Lai Ching-te, was quick to respond. He essentially dismissed the whole thing, characterizing it as psychological intimidation.
Psychological intimidation, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's pretty consistent with Taiwan's long-standing view of these kinds of aggressive displays and rhetoric from Beijing. For Taiwan, this isn't just news. It's a direct, immediate threat they live with constantly.
So trying to downplay it.
Exactly. Their response reflects a deliberate effort to downplay the intended intimidation effect and reassure their own people of their resolve.
Okay, let's try and bring this all together then. We've looked at the spectacle, the tech, the guests, the reactions. What does this whole deep dive mean for you? For global stability, for understanding where things stand right now? This felt like more than just a parade.
Yeah, it really did. Like a declaration, almost a marker in the sand.
Mm-hmm.
And if we connect it to the bigger picture, think about this. This huge show of force came just months after the U.S. had its own military parade in Washington for the Army's 250th birthday.
Ah, interesting timing.
Right. Our sources frame China's parade as a very clear, very deliberate signal, an intent to not just match, but eventually surpass American military power.
So not just parity, but aiming for number one.
That seems to be the message. It's about potentially a new kind of global leadership. It's a direct challenge in this ongoing superpower rivalry. China seems to be signaling its desire to reshape the global order, assert its influence, protect its interests on a scale we haven't seen before.
It's not just a demo, it's strategic communication.
Exactly. But a fundamental shift in global power dynamics.
So when you piece all these elements together, the advanced, almost futuristic weapons we talked about, those highly visible political allies sitting right there, the specific deadlines like 2027, the strong reactions, what broader picture starts to form in your mind about China's global aspirations?
It's not just about capability, right?
No, it feels like it's about what they want to do, maybe even what they feel they must do.
And a crucial point here, I think, is that military parades, they aren't just about showing off current tech. They're an ancient, powerful form of communication,
Right.
meticulously designed to project future power, influence how the world sees you. They communicate resolve, strategic direction, your perceived place on the global stage.
To allies and adversaries.
To both.
Yeah.
Reassurance for allies, deterrence for adversaries. It's a declaration of intent, a display of commitment to a national story, and basically an invitation for the world to take notice.
A rising power demanding attention.
Absolutely. This parade, in essence, felt like China's bold, very public statement about its future path.
And there you have it. From those awe-inspiring goose-stepping troops and unveiling hypersonic missiles designed to beat defenses, to that carefully chosen guest list painting a clear geopolitical picture, and the strong reactions from Washington to Taipei, this deep dive has really unpacked the many layers of China's huge military spectacle.
It's a complex story, for sure.
Compelling, definitely.
So maybe a final thought for you to consider as you reflect on all this. The military might, the talk of rejuvenation. What are the actual long-term implications of these overt shows of force?
Good question.
Do they genuinely deter conflict by signaling strength? Or do they, maybe inadvertently, just escalate tensions, Do they create a kind of security dilemma that pushes us faster into a new era of global competition, maybe even confrontation?
Deterrence or escalation?
Yeah. What stands out to you as the most significant, the most lasting takeaway from this really unprecedented event, something to chew on?